welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my May TBR. So this is quite an ambitious TBR, and I know last time I did an ambitious TBR I didn't do very well. But what I've decided is that May, I want it to be an historic fiction month because I have so much historic fiction on my TBR and I just want a month dedicated to it. So last year in 2017 I didn't read that much historic fiction, and it's something that upset me a bit just because I do love historic fiction, so I thought having a whole month dedicated to it would be great. I know I'm not going to get through all of these books, but this will be a nice little historic fiction that's on my TBR kind of video, but also books that I kind of want to get to this month. The first book I need to read is The White Princess by Philippa Gregory. So this is the fifth and final book in the Plantagenet side of the Plantagenet and Tudor novels by Philippa Gregory, like I said. This one is based on Princess Elizabeth that becomes Queen Elizabeth, who marries Henry Tudor. And obviously, as you can probably tell, she is the mother of the famous Henry VIII. So this is kind of a very important book because it leads to a huge chunk in British history that is like famous the world over. So I definitely want to get this read because I've been so good. I've read one book a month and I don't want to give up on that. Audiobook wise, I really want to listen to the audiobook of The Tattoos of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. I originally got this because I found it really interesting. It's about the real life tattooist who wrote all the numbers on the Jews and prisoners' arms, and the man was a Jew himself, because I always wondered who was the person who tattooed them. Was it a German or did they get someone else to tattoo the people going in? So I think this will be really interesting, but I've heard that the audiobook is really good and emotional. What I've heard is that it's Richard Armitage who narrates it. You might know him from the Robin Hood series on the BBC years ago, or he was recently in The Hobbit. He's really good actor, and I just really want to listen to the audiobook, so I think I'm going to go down the audiobook for that. So as soon as I get a new credit at the beginning of May, I'm going to download that and give it a listen to. Hopefully it won't take me long because it is a short book, so I might get through 2 audiobooks in May. Then I really want to read A Twist in Time by Julie McLuhan. So this is the second novel in the A Murder in Time series, and I've mentioned A Murder in Time so many times, but basically this follows a young girl who got sent back in time. She's an FBI agent, and when she was chasing a criminal, she got sent back to the 1800s in England. And this basically follows on from there. As you can probably tell, she's decided to stay in England in the same time period. And I think what happens is her boyfriend at the time, who she's courting, I think he gets put in prison for a murder and she has to try and prove he didn't do it. I think that's what it's about, but I want to get this read because the new book's coming out in the summer and I want to get that pre-ordered. I also want to read Circe by Madeline Miller. So this was released in April, hence why I want to get it read as soon as possible. Also, I haven't read The Song of Achilles, so I do want to get this read, then maybe buy that and see what that's like. Basically, all I know about this is I think Circe was the first witch. She was a goddess, but she got banished down to earth, so she used her powers and became a witch. That's what I think, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't listen to me really. But I can't wait to give this a go. And then going down that same route, I want to read Mythos by Stephen Fry. So I've had this for a while. I saw the hardback edition and just had to buy it. This is basically Stephen Fry, who you may know, hosts QI, very famous, basically a British national treasure. If you Google him, you will have seen him in something. This is basically his retellings of the Greek myths, and I just can't wait to see his take on it. I haven't had a proper look through it, so I don't know whether it's different short stories or just one big novel. I may use Audible for this, just because it's Stephen Fry narrating, or I might give it a read. It just all depends on what I'm feeling like. The next 3 are books that I might not get to this month, but if I can, I will definitely read them. I've got The World of Law, Monstrous Creatures by Aaron Mahnke. So this is based on the podcast Law by Aaron, and I love that podcast. It's probably the first podcast I ever listened to, but I love it, and it's all about law, traditions, ghost stories, stuff like that, and it's all really interesting. It's from all around the world, and this is basically based on some of the creatures you've got, and it is illustrated as well, so I can't wait to give this a go and just give it a little read. And I think the next book is out in May, so I'm not 100% sure. I have pre-ordered it, so I'll just get an email when that arrives to the store, but I can't wait to read this, and I am hoping to get it read in May, but it's not one of my priorities. Another non-priority is A Burnable Book by Bruce Hollister. So this was a Christmas present. So this really should be a priority, seeing as it's now almost summer and I haven't read it. But it's just because I've got a lot of new releases coming out in May, so those might take priority over these, so I just have to be careful of this. But A Burnable Book is basically set in the 1300s England, and I believe a gentleman is given a book and it basically contains a treasonous plotting. So he needs to look after that book, try and get rid of it, and apparently it's got murder and stuff like that, so it's my kind of book. I am just a bit scared of reading it just because, as you know, I read by Gaslight by Stephen Price, and as you can see in one of my previous wrap-ups, I DNF'd that, and I'm just scared of reading a thick historic novel again just in case it's the same. So this is why I'm putting this off, but I do want to get it read as soon as possible. And the last bit of historic fiction on my TBR shelf that I will hopefully get to this month, I think I might do just because I've been eyeing it up and thinking I should read that, but that is The North Water by Ian McGuire. I've been wanting this for quite a while and I finally got it for Christmas. The only problem is I can't remember what it is about. All I know is there's a ship and a boy has been murdered. So that's probably why I put it on my TBR, because I'm really into murder mysteries. So I do want to get this read as soon as possible because, again, it was a book that was got for me at Christmas and it's almost summer, so I need to get this read. But in May I have so many pre-orders, it's unbelievable. I've got A Court of Frost and Starlight, I've got Legendary, I've got The Eve of Man, and I'm sure I've got some others that I can't just think off the top of my head. So I'm going to have to be maybe changing stuff around. Maybe it was a bad idea to think this month to be a historic fiction month, because I'm going to want to read a lot of those pre-orders as soon as they get in. But I'm hoping to stick to as much historic fiction as possible, and it will keep me on track to get a lot of these read, because a lot of these are ones that I do want to read. I've just been putting them aside for some reason. So yeah, hopefully in my May wrap up you'll have a lot of historical fiction in there. So what are you wanting to read in May? Are you going to keep to a theme, or are you just going to read what you want? If you want to, comment down below and we can have a little chat. My social media links are down below as well. I am being a lot more active on Twitter, so feel free to follow me and have a little chat on there. And I will see you later with a new video. Bye!